Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you today? My name is Stephen Akintayo. I'm Africa's most sought after investment coach. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I just want to show you in 10 minutes the reward of land banking. So this particular property is in Victoria Island. First of all, those of you who are always afraid of water, this is VI. What do you see? Okay, this is the lagoon. Can you see the lagoon? If you can see the lagoon, can you type I can see the lagoon? Now that's to my right. Now to my left is the Atlantic Ocean. Can you see the Atlantic Ocean right there? You see? Okay, so now in the middle, what are you seeing? This is VI. Okay, this is one of the best parts of Lagos. However, here you can see empty land. Can you see this land that has been fenced? This is about an acre or two. This is another acre. You see this also another acre. You see this also another acre. If you are seeing what I'm saying, type I can see. Now look at it. To this left is developed. To the right is developed. Now the question is, when did the owner of this land buy this land? Why did they fence it and leave it? When? I can assure you, when they bought this land, it was probably going for 100,000, 30 years ago, maybe. I don't know. But as I speak to you, this acre cannot be less, ladies and gentlemen, than it's going to be going between 4 to 6 billion naira. What you are seeing here, at least not less than 3 billion. What you're seeing here, not less than 3 billion. Can you see? Empty land. And that's what we're saying when we say land banking. Is to say, go into the future, okay, look for a location that will develop. And some of the factors you look at is even water, that some of you always run away from. So you look for places that has potential to develop, then you buy it ahead of time. You leave it for it to appreciate. Years later, you are selling it for, 100 times, 1,000 times the amount you bought it. And it's the best form of investment, because if you have left that same amount of money in the bank, let's say you left 100,000 in the bank in the last 30 years, even if they were giving you interest, how much would that amount be? And you and I know that inflation has hit that money. So what your 100,000 could have done 30 years ago, you can't do now. But you use the 100,000 to buy a piece of land, okay, 100,000 per acre, 600k. Now 30 years later, you're selling for billions and billions of naira. This is VI, as you can see, Victoria Island. Some people were smart to have done this. Now the children of the person who bought this land will be kissing his picture and they will be praying for him. God bless you, Grandpa. God bless you, Grandpa. And I mean what I'm saying, because this story that I'm telling you, 100,000, some of you are thinking is weird, happened to Pastor Paul Adefarasi, whose father bought Akintayo not too far from here, Akintayo, for 2,000 pounds. Okay, 2,000 pounds 50 years ago. 2,000 pounds 50 years ago, he bought it. Okay, later a company came and said, we're going to develop that land, we're going to build a house on it, we'll take the rent for 10 years. After we've taken back our money in 10 years, we'll give you back the property, is yours. And Pastor Paul said the rent, after they gave his father back that property, was the rent from that place. The father used to send them to the best schools in the world outside Nigeria. And when his father died and the family sold that place, what came to him was about $1 million, and he wasn't the only child. That's what we're talking about, land banking. So when we say land banking, some of you are wondering, it's the strategies, an investment strategy to buy a property, a land in a place that has potential to appreciate. Now listen to me, guys, very well. Probably they bought this land 50 years ago or 30 years ago or whatever year ago, right? They bought this land. When they bought this land 30 years ago or 50 years ago, whatever year, there was no assurance that if they had built a house in it, 50 years later, they won't need to have demolished the house. And that's one of the advantages of land banking people don't know. This land is appreciating without the owner doing anything on it. Okay? Meanwhile, if it's a house, you need to have painted it in 50 years. You need to have changed the borehole. You need to have refurbished it. In other words, a house still requires money for maintenance, but a land appreciates in value without any form of maintenance. So this is a very powerful concept. Or say build wealth, or say where do I invest my money in? How do I make money multiply? How do I make money appreciate? Is to say look for a place. When they bought this place, it wasn't developed. Nothing was here. Okay, nothing was here. When they bought this place, nothing was here. It was empty land. You see the Atlantic, the lagoon. Then you see the Atlantic Ocean. It was all empty. And some people call it marshy land. VI that you are seeing, all these places you are seeing, were marshy land. 50 years ago, marshy land, water everywhere. It was marshy land. Nobody wanted to buy land here. Nobody. This Victoria land, nobody. But some people had, and this is what we're saying about the herd mentality. A lot of you don't know that majority is not always right. Particularly when it comes to investment, majority is not always right. Popular opinion is not always right. And you will be very wrong if you live your life when it comes to investment based on what popular opinion. And sometimes the people you are even asking counsel for, they don't even have such investment. They don't. Many of us are used to asking friends who have not built wealth about wealth matter. If I ask you now, for example, come on guys, where is everybody? I'm not seeing comments. Okay, can see some comments now. If I ask some of you, when you wanted to buy your first landed property, the majority of those you started asking questions from, did they have property themselves? Your cousin, your brother, they don't even know jack about investment. Yet they are the ones saying, Uncle Mimofe Rale Koseko Kilero. I mean, what is it going to tell you? What's it going to tell you? Rather than look for people who already have invested before and say, share your experience with me. Share your secret with me. You bought a lot of property in Lagos. How did you do it? What are the strategies? So always learn that when picking investment advice, don't go with everybody say popular opinion. It's not always right. But when it comes to building wealth, it's not always right. People who ran away from Victoria Island, they missed it. They missed it. You know where people used to buy land in those days? Mushin. Yes, Ojuelegba. At some point, Bariga. That's where people used to buy land. They used to consider VI a marshy land and a worse place to invest in property. That's what they used to call Victoria Island. Marshy land. I'm talking about 60 years ago, 70 years ago. Ask those who know. They will tell you. In fact, do you know Surulere people used to run away from because it was outskirts. But see what it has become today. And that's why I'm saying again, popular opinion doesn't always help when it comes to investment. It's not what majority of people are saying. I'll give an example. Why were people running from VI? Most people told them that the lagoon and the Atlantic Ocean will destroy them. That's what they were saying to them 60 years ago, 50 years ago. That's why somebody didn't invest in this land. That's why somebody didn't buy properties in this location. Because family members say, oh me. Has water taken these people away? Talk to me, guys. I need your answer. Has water taken these people away? This VI rental hotel is there. Has water taken these people away 50 years later? Okay, 100 years later, has water taken them away? Popular opinion doesn't always sell. And that's what you need to know when it comes to investment. Okay, majority of opinion is not always right. Now everybody say, no, go buy dry land. It doesn't appreciate like wet land. You have seen it here. This is real. This land you are seeing that has been fenced was marshy. Okay, wasn't dry. Is it not dry now? Over time, as everybody else built their own houses, okay, the place got dried up. As people did their own drainage, the place got dried up. So, have you learned something today? If you've learned, type I've learned. Malcolm, what's going on? You're a guy now. What's you and pink lips? Can you imagine, Malcolm? Okay, Taufik says no water has taken anybody away. They are living in wealth. Abio, they are living in wealth. So please wake up, because these are same things people are telling you. When Lekki started, it was this way again. Most people say, it's close to the Atlantic, it's close to the lagoon. Omi Magbe as Omi taking them in Lekki, right? Despite one or two areas being flooded often, you will still see that rich people still live there. And nobody is asking to come and live in this place. Just invest it, keep it, and get returns in future. Same thing is what we are telling you with Ibejuleki. Invest now in Ibejuleki. Okay? Don't let them tell you in future and say, I remember a man, Steve Akintayo used to come on Facebook every day, tell us that we should invest. And I just felt, I'm not sure. Igbenyin ni dun oloko ada. Igbenyin ni dun oloko ada. Is in the end that the man who farmed with cutlass begin to regret. If you want to be a great investor, you have to be ahead. You don't wait to buy land, you buy land and wait. You have to see ahead, you have to have foresight, you have to take action when it is not popular. Okay? And you have to know for yourself what is right. The decision is ultimately yours and not friends and opinion. Let me ask you guys a question. When you buy cars, how many of you call family members to seek their counsel when you want to buy cars? You just go and buy the car. So why? And a car is not an asset. A car is a liability. How many of you know? If you know type, I know. A car is not an asset. A car is a liability. If you know type, I know. So why is it that when you now come to place of asset, when it comes to property, which is an asset, you want to call entire Lagos before you buy property until you get everybody to discourage you? And then years later, you say, but I bought that land, but people kept telling me it wasn't it. And that's where people miss it. Damilola Okunlola say, Ibejuleki is perfect. I took your advice, invested. There is, great. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So, guys, that's all I want to share with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Share this video with your friends, your loved one. Let them just see a practical example of land banking in VI. This land was probably gotten 30, 50 or so years ago. It was nothing, it was peanut. They probably got it for £2,000, £3,000 in those days. And fenced it round and left it. Today is worth billions. Billions. In fact, Nigeria didn't know what a billion is when they bought this land. It's worth billions today. It's in the heart of VI. You see? It's in the heart of VI. All the big houses are surrounding the place. But when they bought it, it was empty land, marshy land. Everywhere was water everywhere. And people would probably have told the person who bought it, you are not a wise man. Why will you buy waterlogged area? But he bought it. He's a billionaire today. Even if he's dead, his children are billionaires today because they had a father that had a foresight. That's the same thing you should be thinking about. That's how to build wealth. I've told you guys a million times. If Africa and Africans will be respected, we need to think asset and not liability. If we will be respected, we need to think asset and not liability. I repeat it. If we as Africans will be respected, we need to think asset and not liability. The time has come to start thinking future, investment that secures a glorious future. And let's stop reacting. Okay, let's stop reacting. I love you. If you have more questions, feel free to send me a DM. Good day. Happy Monday. I love Mondays, you know me.